Thank you for joining me today on Prophets of Babel with your host Janine. Today we are reading several short stories. One, the prophecy of the prophetess Leon. Two, the book of the strangers. Three, the song of Benali. And four, the book of Namoran.
The prophecy of the prophetess Lewan. And it was prophesied by Lewan that in the last days there shall be raised up a group of 12 women. Now these were the words which she prophesied unto those other women who were among the 12. They they shall be like us in many ways. For in that time when the works of our people shall be restored by he who shall write, there will be 12 women. And they have been revealed unto me, and they shall be revealed unto him, for he shall see their faces, and they shall be renowned, for many shall know them. And these shall be 12 women who shall work among the people to bring to pass the kingdom. And 3 of them shall be sisters, and they shall be found and taught the ways of our people, and they shall be taught the will of the Almighty concerning them. For he has a special purpose laid up in store for them, and he has many great blessings for them. And many shall come from these islands, and some shall be found in many places of the world. She shall be one who dwells in the water. She shall live in the city of many towers and pillars, for people shall live within the towers and pillars, and they shall reach to the sky. The sky shall be filled with much smoke, and this place shall be a place of great importance. Ora, the woman of light, she shall live in 2 cities. One, the city of her youth, shall be in the northern island. It shall be a city of rice and sugar. The other city shall be in the distant land beyond the great waters. It shall be the city of grove trees. She shall be known by many people. Enayala. She shall learn to care for others and aid them. She shall come from the city of the low place. Enaklaka, the angel, she shall be the most renowned of all the women. She shall be known by a great many of the descendants of this people. She shall have a great desire to help those of her people. And when she is young, there shall be a separation in her life, and she shall cleave unto her father. Yanava shall travel the world. She shall come forth from place where the river doth flow under the earth. Just as there were 3 sisters among us, so shall there be 3 sisters who will be raised in that day, and their names will be Yanama and Yama and Lorana. They shall come from that city of much salt. Moriah shall come from a distant land across many waters. It shall be called the city of the Queen of Angels. It shall be a great and vast city, and the city there shall be unlike our people, for they shall have many strange ways. Guanadalana, she shall be from those who are beyond the great sea and the great land and the second great sea towards the east. She shall also live within the same city as Ma. Rabbah, she shall learn to give comfort to those in need. She shall be dressed in white. She shall be born in a distant land, but here home shall be among these islands. Probably means her home. Karasatana, she shall also learn to care for others. She shall find great joy in this thing. She shall be called beautiful by many. She shall live in the fortified city. Now behold, these 12 women shall divide according to 3, and they shall go forth into all the 4 directions, in the east and the west and the north and the south, and they shall proclaim the kingdom and bring many unto a knowledge of the promises of God, and they shall do the works of God among the people. And now they shall seek to hearken unto the voice of him who hath brought forth the history of these doings, for he shall guide them in all their doings, for he shall speak the will of the Lord concerning them. Nonetheless, they shall not see him, for he shall be called to work among the people, and he shall send words of commands unto them, and they shall obey. And after a time of their work, they shall be called, even as we have been called. They shall be called queens unto the world, and they shall be known unto the world as beautiful and lovely and generous, and they shall be clothed with beautiful clothing. Now behold, these women are called of God, and he knows them, and his blessings which he hath in store for them shall be poured out upon them. For if they shall hearken unto God and do these things, they will have greater blessings than they have yet received, for they shall receive every blessing God hath prepared for them. The Book of the Strangers, Chapter 1. I, whose name is Moani, do write the history of my people, and I know not if it is true or false, but I know that these stories are important for my children. And my father had told unto me about our ancestors who did travel from a far land, and our ancestor whose name was Eliah was spoken unto by God, and he did take his tribe out of their homeland, and they did travel many years until they came unto a great sea, and God did send down a boat from heaven, which did carry the tribe across the sea. And God did deliver these people unto a new land. And there were many tribes in the land, and their tribe did spread in the land. Now, because of these other tribes, they did become mixed, and their tribe was diluted, and there was a division among the tribe. Now I know not if these things are true, for there are many things that seem to be impossible. Now behold, the children of the son of Eliah were not faithful to that which they had been taught unto them by their fathers. And many great men did rise up and preach to them. And these things which were preached I know not of, for they are lost to me. And I know only of those things that were spoken unto me by my fathers. And there were also kings which were raised up among them, and a righteous man preached to a king, and the king ordered him to be killed by flame, and flame did also kill the king. And that which is evil shall be rewarded with evil, and all men should seek to do that which is good. And there came a time when good men did preach to those which they believed to be true, and they went to their enemies and preached unto them. And despite the great hatred of their enemies, many did hearken unto them and did believe. And a great king did also believe. And after many years, there were great contentions and wars among the people. And there was a great teacher and warrior who did fight among the people. And there are many other stories which we have heard concerning these lost people. And it was during these times of contentions and wars that our great father Haga did live. And Haga did lead the people by the Spirit, and he also did learn the ways of building with wood. And because of many wars, people had a desire to move away from their land. And so Haga did build a large ship, and he did take his family into the ship and travel to a northern land, and others did follow. And after many years, Haga, who was the son of Haga, did take leave of the people, and he did take journey with boats to find a land for himself away from that of his fathers, and they did travel upon the sea into the west. And there did arise a great storm, and they were pushed off course, and they had wrecked upon an island. And Haga decided to await rescue from his brethren, but at no time did any rescue come. Wherefore Haga did make his home upon the island. And behold, there were many other people who were already inhabitants upon the islands, and it came to pass people from distant lands should come unto these islands. And it was during the time of his awaiting of rescue that Haga did take unto himself a wife of the native people of the island, and she bore him a son. And this son did go forth upon the islands and did find a beautiful woman among the people of a distant island, and he did marry her. But she did not believe the religion of her husband, and their children did not follow the religion of their father. And his children did spread themselves out in the islands, for they were very curious and did explore. And seeing that they were skilled in the art of navigation, they did discover many new islands. And thus the children of our great father Haga did spread abroad upon the land. Now this is chapter 2. So I don't know about you, but I'm totally hearing the story of Hagoth from the Book of Mormon here, and the story of Abinadi, I feel like she just told. In the Nemenha, which is the Book of Hagoth, Hagoth builds the big boat and sends people north, and then his son builds another boat, and they think he's lost at sea till years later some of the people actually come, and he finds out his son crashed in a storm on some islands. And he chose to live on the islands, and they were amazing seafarers that knew navigation really well. So I don't know, but that's pretty exciting because it sounds the same. All right, chapter 2. Now I, whose name is Muanu, am a descendant of our great father Haga, but I do not follow after his religion, and I do know, save it be rumors of their beliefs. And we do live upon an island of the sea, and there are many inhabitants, and many governments are established upon these islands, and we have not a place to be free. Wherefore I have gathered my family, and we have prepared boats, that we may depart into the sea to find a land of freedom. For behold, there is a rumored land in the west that is a free land, and a land of much riches. And the people of these islands do call me a fool for my desire to leave this land, for they believe it to be a fable. But I do believe that it must be true, and I do know that we shall not perish upon the sea. For I, whose name is Muanu, did gather my family and much food and water into our boats, and we did depart into the ocean, and we did use the stars as a guide, and we did travel for many days and nights, and behold, our food supply was used up, and some had spoiled, and my family did grow in pains of hunger, and they did become angry with me, that they thought that those who had mocked us spoke the truth, and they thought that there was no land of freedom. And behold, they did lose hope, and we did drift in the midst of the sea. But behold, as many had lost their hope, one of our party did sight a land in the distance, and he did call out to the others, and all the people in the boats did look forward toward the land, save those who were too weak to move, and we did regain our strength and navigate toward the land. And after we had landed, we did find much food and wild game, and we did eat until we could eat no longer. And behold, we did send out scouts to explore the land. And this land was very vast, yea, even greater than the islands where we had departed. And I, whose name is Moanu, knew that this must be the land of freedom. And we did begin to make homes and settle the land. And after many days, my sons were scouting in the land, and they did come upon a group of people, and they did approach the people. And the people were very dark and were of small height, and they were a very peaceful people, and they did have a strange form of worship. But behold, it was familiar to me, for it was after the manner of my ancestors, and I did become sure of the truthfulness of the histories of my ancestors. And behold, one of the people from the other group did speak unto my sons, and it did amaze me that he could speak our language. And he did speak unto them that he had a gift of the Spirit, and that he could speak our language. And he did follow them to our community, and he did come unto me and spake unto me. And I did learn that the land was a great and vast land, and that it was all united as one people. And we were amazed that such a large number of people could be united. And he did teach unto me the reason that they were united, for they did believe in a man named Jesus, who was the Son of God. Wow, this sounds like the book of Nemenhah. This is cool, because the Nemenhah means the people, and all the people were called Nemenhah all over, coast to coast. And he did teach all our people, and because our ancestors also believed after a similar belief, for they knew that a man such as Christ should come. And we knew that this Christ must be, and he who was prophesied according to legend. And we did join the people and were baptized and learned the ways of Christ. And I knew that the histories of my people may be important, for they did speak of people who did believe that Christ should come. Wherefore I did write this history of our people upon this land, and with the aid of our neighboring people, we did translate this history into the language of the leader of the kingdom, and we will deliver this history unto the leader of the kingdom. That's amazing. I love it. All right, well, we're just reading short books here. The Song of Benali. O Father, I offer this prayer unto thee. You are the most high being of all, the Father of our spirit and my King. I pray that those who shall read these words shall know. They shall know of your goodness and your love, Only through your law can we be made alive, your perfect law and perfect plan. From your bosom I descend to the small world. Here I live my life to prove that I am worthy of you. I call upon you to send my ancestors to strengthen me. They who have gone before shall give me aid and protect me from the spirits who wander the earth. I do seek to destroy the power of the evil one. He shall not control me. He shall be sealed if I shall seal my heart and mind from him. Unto the Lord my God I give my devotion. His almighty hand shall guide me to the light. He giveth no test I cannot bear. Help me to obey your voice. Bring me to he that we may be joined within the temple of your holiness, your place upon this world. And after I shall return to the dust, raise me up again, and see fit to grant me mercy to return to your bosom, that I may become like you and inherit the reward you have in store for me. How beautiful. Selections from the Book of Namwaran. Chapter 1. Namwaran was a righteous man who hearkened unto the Lord, and behold, he had lived all his days in the city by the river, for the city was a place devoted unto God. And he learned the ways of God when he was young. Yea, he learned the words of the prophets, even Saran and Achman, and even the words of Christ and Datara. And he knew of the history of the Mahartika and how they had fallen from favor with God, and how they had divided themselves into tribes, each according to his own language. And he also learned from the king of the kings who had risen among the people, and the rich people who did have dominion over the people of these lands. And behold, Namwaran did serve the people of the city, and did his part to keep righteousness upon the land. Now Namwaran was called of God to preach the gospel to the unbelieving people. And in the 25th year of his life, he took himself up and began to teach the people. And yea, he did teach a great many people about the ways of God and about his commandments. But behold, the people did reject him, for they were hardened in their hearts, and they did reject the ways of Christ. Now, people did become angered with the believers, for the believers did constantly send people to preach the gospel, and the unbelievers did grow tired of the intrusions of the believers into their lives. And they would that the believers should let them alone. Wherefore many non-believers did speak harshly unto the believers, and many did say, I was born into the religion of my parents, and I shall die in the religion of my parents. And yea, their hearts were hardened. And it was because of this unwillingness to learn more of the ways of God that God cursed them with poverty and with plagues and with contentions. And yea, the land was cursed with a great heat, even so much that all the land was bathed in bright sunlight during the day. Because of this great heat, the skin of the people was darkened. And God revealed unto the people through the prophets and teachers that until the day shall come that the people return unto God, the cursing should remain. And after hearing this, many people did curse God. And because of their wickedness, God did increase the curse upon the land, insomuch that there should be only 2 seasons, the season of great heat and the season of great rain. And it shall remain so until the return of the Lord, during the time when the seasons shall be confused and the world shall be in turmoil. Chapter 2. And it came to pass that Namwaran did speak all those things he was commanded, and after this manner did he teach the people. And it came to pass that many of the people did hate the believers, and they took up their weapons and went to war against the city by the river. And many believers were slain, but behold, they did repel the invaders. Now behold, upon hearing this, Namwaran did make his return unto the city by the river. And after many days he did arrive home. And behold, he found many of his family had been killed by the invaders. And Namwaran mourned greatly. But it was a time of great sorrow and joy, for behold, Reuben, the son of the brother of Namwaran, was yet alive, and being cared for by a family of believers. And he did run unto the house of his brother and embrace him, and he wept greatly because of the joy he felt, for God had preserved the son of his brethren. And he took the son of his brother into his house, and together they did rebuild it. And Namwaran taught the son of his brother in the ways of God, in the same manner that he had been taught. Yea, he did teach unto the son of his brother the atonement of Christ. For Christ had been born in in a faraway land. And there he suffered for the sins of all mankind, and he gave up his life. And it was through this that he overcame death. And because of his great sacrifice, all those who believe in him may be saved. And behold, Reuben did ask his father's brother, is it enough for a man to believe in Christ? And Namoran did say unto the son of his brethren, what do the scriptures say? And Reuben said unto him, they do say that our works are as worthless scraps before God. And Namoran did say unto the son of his brethren, you speak correctly, for there is nothing we can do to enter the kingdom of God except it be through Christ. Wherefore can a man who rejoiceth in wickedness and do all manner of sin enter into God's heavenly kingdom? And Reuben said unto him, nay. And Namoran spake, saying, but the man who doth believe in Christ, is it not written that all those who believe shall be saved? And the son of his brother did speak unto him, saying, yea, it is written, but is it not also written that no dirty thing may enter into God's heavenly kingdom? And he saith unto the son of his brother, yea. So it is enough to only believe? And Reuben spake, saying, nay. For if one believes but does not seek to obey the commandments, his belief is counted as naught. But only those who shall seek, obey the commandments, and believe can enter into God's heavenly kingdom. And he spake unto Reuben, you speak the truth. For if a man believe not, but seeketh not to obey the commandments, his belief is a lie. And he that lieth committeth a sin. And he who sinneth and repent not cannot bear God's presence, and cannot enter into his heavenly presence. And Namoran taught many more things unto Reuben, the son of his brother. Chapter 3. And it came to pass that Namoran did also learn the arts of battle, and he did so that he might defend himself and the son of his brother from those who hated the believers. And he did practice with all manner of weapons, and did spend many years perfecting his movements and skill. Wherefore he did gain confidence and humility, even so much that he did successfully defend the city by the river from many attacks by non-believers. And yea, he did become a warrior of great renown. And he did also teach these arts unto Reuben. And it came to pass that in the 28th year of Namoran's life, the chief of the great kingdom of Tundum did hear of the great warrior. And the chief did send a messenger to call Namoran to appear before him. And Namoran did leave the city unto Reuben to defend the city, and took his travel to the kingdom of Tundum. And after the space of many days he did arrive and appear before the chief. And the chief did call upon Namoran to raise an army to defend the kingdom of Tundum, for the tribes outside the kingdom of Tundum were jealous of the favor that had been given unto the kingdom. For the foreign powers did look favorably upon the kingdom of Tundum, and they did give aid unto the kingdom, and the tribes did desire to steal that aid, so that they could become rich. And Namoran did agree to train an army, and the chief of Tundrum did desire to know what payment Namoran desired with which to compensate him. And one of the chief advisers had a daughter, whose name was Jidana. And he spake unto the chief, saying, let him take my daughter Jidana to wife, wherefore we may assure his loyalty unto our kingdom. And the chief spoke unto Namoran, saying, in addition to the payment, thou shalt request, I will give unto you the daughter of my adviser, for she is very fair and beautiful to look upon. And Namoran said unto the chief, the payment I request is only that I may also use the army to defend the cities of the believers. And behold, the chief agreed, for there was not any contention between the kingdom of Tundrum and the believers. And Namoran also spake, saying, I know not if I can take your adviser's daughter to wife, for I know not if she is given unto me of the Lord. For it is the ways of the believers that a man cannot take a woman to wife, save she is given unto him of God. For it is only through the Spirit of God that a family can grow in faith and righteousness. And behold, it is the belief of the believers that if a man should be bound to a wife or two or three, or as many as were given unto him in a sacred place, they shall remain bound together. And all the children they have shall be bound with them. And this is a strong belief of the believers, for it is very important. Wherefore allow me to meet her and to court her, and also that I may know of God if she hath been given unto me. And the chief did agree, for he did not share the belief of the believers, but he did not demand that it be rejected. Chapter 4. And it came to pass that Namoran did go up to the house of the daughter of the adviser, and he did meet the daughter, and he beheld her, and she was very beautiful, and his desire was unto her, for he had experienced much loneliness. And he did converse with her, but she had not a desire unto him. Wherefore Namoran departed the land and returned unto his home. But he was not discouraged, for he did send unto her writings of great love. And he did pour out his heart unto her, and the desire of her heart began to turn unto him, and she did begin to love him. And he did speak unto her concerning his faith, and those things which were important to his heart. And it came to pass that Jidana did convert unto the ways of Christ, and she was baptized in the waters of the great bay by the city of the river, and Namoran did baptize her. And because there was no longer any temple in the land, for the sacred things had since been removed to a place of safety, Namoran did construct a tabernacle out of bamboo, and he and Jidina were married after the holy fashion in the tabernacle. And Jidina did bear Namoran a daughter, and Namoran did train his army for many years. Now after these years, Jadina did also bear a son. Now behold, Reuben did remain in the city by the river, and he did continue to work among the city, for there had arisen much unrighteousness among the believers, for they began to turn unto the desires of their hearts rather than the will of God. And Namoran, desiring to provide a righteous household for his family, did build a righteous home, that there should be an inheritance unto his children. And he did build his home as a fortress to protect them from the wicked people of the land. Chapter 5. And it came to pass that many tribes did come unto the kingdom of Tundrum to war against them, and they did bring all manner of weapons. And it came to pass that Namoran did gather his army, and they did go up to meet the army of the tribes, and they did begin to war against the armies. And Namoran did lead the armies in many successful battles against their enemies. And after many years of war, Namoran did leave the command of the armies. And there were fewer wars in the land, and the kingdom of Tundrum had become more established in the land. And Namoran did see that the numbers of believers were decreasing, for some had been killed and others had fallen from their beliefs because of the strength of the foreign beliefs in the land. And he knew that he must preserve the words of God for future generations. And it came to pass that Namoran did take those words of God, which were in his possession, and he took them to the mountains. For he knew where the sacred and precious things had been stored, that they might be hidden up, for this knowledge had been passed down by all who had been called the chief high priest, and did find the cave, and he did store the records within the cave. Now it came to pass that God did speak unto him, and command him to gather the records of his words given among the Mahardika. And he did command Namoran to bring all the records into this cave, and there the records should be preserved until a future time, when they should come forth and bring light unto all those who should read them. And behold, Namoran took himself and went abroad in the land, and did gather many records. And he went from city to city to gather records. But behold, he did see much wickedness in cities that had been cities of believers, and there were very few believers left in the land. For the ways of all the children of Achman had been perverted, and they did tear down the worship places of the believers. And they did destroy all the works and the records of the believers, insomuch that there were no remnants left of the believers in the land. And this was the reason Namoran did gather the records, and he did preserve copies of the records from destruction. Chapter 9. Now behold, Namoran did journey into a southern land, for he knew of a record that did exist there. And he entered the land and went unto the keeper of the records, and he did request to review the records. And the keeper of the records did give him permission to view the records. And Namoran did enter into his house and did read the records. And Namoran did find the record which he knew was there, and it was called the Record of the Ancients. And it was so named, for it did contain a record of the history of the world from the time of Adam unto the time that an ancient people did travel unto these lands. For it did also contain a record of those who were charged with keeping these records, for they did disperse in the earth and become inhabitants of these islands. And thus the record did come into the hands of the people of these islands. And the record of the ancients was a very valuable record, for it contained much writing and knowledge, and the record was very large. And Naaman did ask the keeper of the records if he could take the records to keep them. And the keeper of the records refused, for he knew they were of great value. And Naaman offered a great sum of gold in exchange for the records. And the keeper of the records agreed that if Naaman would deliver unto him the gold, he would give him the records. Behold, Naaman did take leave of the keeper of the records, and he did travel to the territory of a nearby chief, who was an ally of the chief of Tundrum. And Naaman did approach him, for the chief did know of the legendary Naaman, and Naaman did ask a great favor of the chief, for he desired to purchase the records of the ancients, but had not the money wherewith to purchase them. And he did ask a favor of the chief, that he might loan the sum of money needed to purchase the record. And the chief did agree, for he knew Naaman was a servant of the chief of Tundrum, and was a loyal and honest man, for he had fought in many battles to protect their lands. And the chief did deliver unto him the gold, and Naaman did take the gold to the keeper of the records, and he did purchase the records of the ancients. And he did return with the records to the cave, where which he had hid up the other records. And it is a righteous work that records should be kept and preserved, for God hath given us an ability to keep records, and it is such that the works of our days may be kept. And those generations who keep records shall be judged out of the records they keep. And they who might keep records but do not keep them shall be judged severely. Write your journals, guys. Chapter 10. Now this was the great prophecy of Naaman, and behold, after many years Naaman did finish gathering the records of the Mehardika, and he had taken them to a secret cave and hidden them there, and the number of these records was great. And Naaman had grown to a great age, and had endured much hardship from the gathering of these records, for he had traveled the whole land round about to gather these records. And it was his intention to bring many of these records together and form a book, which would go forth among the descendants of Suran in the last days. But behold, Naaman did pass away before he could begin the work, and he died in favor with God, for he had brought to pass much righteousness, and he was a righteous man. All right, thank you for reading, for joining us today on Prophets of Babel and reading these shorter books with us. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.